And welcome to Today in the Wine Country, the Napa Chamber Edition. Actually, it's Today in the Napa Valley. Sometimes I forget. And I'm your host, Chris Templeton with Influence Internet, an online marketing firm here in town. And we've got a fun show for you. We're going to talk about video and how to use it in your marketing. We're going to talk about one of the newer restaurants in town, Napa Valley Bistro, and one of the new accounting services in town, West Accounting Services. But we are going to start with Tom Fancher from Talk Fusion. Welcome, Tom.
Good morning, Chris. How you doing?
I'm great. Hey, you know, one of the things that just blows me away, I've talked about this a number of times lately, but you look at YouTube, and the amount of content that is generated is mind-boggling. And what you do is you're a contributor to that, aren't you, Tom?
Yeah, we are. And it's not going to stop growing either.
It's not. Talk a little bit about what you do with Talk Fusion.
Well, Talk Fusion as a company developed a technology that would allow businesses, for-profit or non-profit, to actually deliver their video, whether it be online, website, email, social media, mobile devices, that sort of thing. So it's a very seamless way to deliver it. And it's funny you should mention YouTube, because Cisco Systems here in Northern California is predicting by the year 2015, 90% of all global internet traffic will be video. So it's not going to stop.
Yeah, I had not heard that statistic, but it's just mind-boggling how much of it is out there. Now, what I think people don't recognize is how useful it can be in business.
Actually incredible. You know, if people want to, I can have available for them how to grow your business with video, and later on I'll tell you where to go to get that info.
Okay.
But the statistics behind the reception when people receive your information via video is exponentially different than if they receive a text email, as an example.
Why is that? Can you?
Yeah, certainly. So it goes back to how the mind actually functions and what it does relative to internalizing information. Now, this is real, neuro.
No, but this is good. This is exactly where I wanted you to go.
So this is neuro stuff. So when the brain receives a text, or you're reading a text, it converts it to memory and emotion. And then it gets stored. So it has to convert text into images that get stored as memory and emotion. When someone sees video, it bypasses all the work that you have to do. So it immediately goes from the image right to memory and emotion, and it creates an internal response for individuals. So some of the statistics, they're not Talk Fusions. You can Google this if you want to.
Right.
Some of the statistics indicate that if you're watching a 1-minute video, that's equivalent to 1.8 million words of text. And one frame of that 1-minute video is equivalent to 3 full pages of text, because it just bypasses all the work that the brain has to do. So when a message is delivered today and it's delivered in video, people are more receptive because they don't have to work at getting that information. So that's one of the reasons why it's so impactful today.
So talk a little bit about how your product is different. I mean, I could just go throw up videos on YouTube and I could send them, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. I had a conversation with our production manager this morning. YouTube is a great place to throw your information out there. Mm-hmm. And what you're doing is hoping that someone in the universe is going to be able to go to your particular video and watch the information. What Talk Fusion has, it's a repository for all your videos, and you are doing a market-specific application of the information. So if you have a community of people that you want your messages to go to, and you don't want it to be shared by your competition or people that are against your particular product or service.
Which is a really good point, because if you're on YouTube and you put up a video, when it's done, YouTube's going to show you related videos which are likely to be competitors.
Absolutely. Here's a perfect example. There's a plastic surgeon in Northern California who started using Talk Fusion, and he was initially using YouTube video on his website. And once someone viewed the video, it took him to the YouTube community. And I said, well, this gentleman's name, I said, is that a good thing or a bad thing that when your video shows, you see all your competition on the right? And also there was someone suggesting that they not do plastic surgery. So he thought about it and he went, not having competition or not dealing with people that say you shouldn't do it is probably not where I want to have my message focused.
Well, and it's really a question of you might want your message there to be found because we know that YouTube's one of the biggest search engines there is. But what you're saying is if I'm delivering a video from an email or from my website, I certainly don't want on my website, if I'm a plastic surgeon, after my video shows, other plastic surgeons' videos.
Exactly.
And so you can really control the message much more effectively.
That's really a great point. I never suggest to people that they refrain from putting their video on YouTube. It's a good place to throw it out there because, you're going to be in the that big mass of information, so that when people do search, they might come across it. But here's something that's really an important statistic that I think any business, for-profit or non-profit, needs to understand. Because of the power of video and people's attention spans are so short, the statistic is that if someone is surfing the web for a product or service, and they happen to come to a website that does not have video as a component part of their information, that person will on average spend 49 seconds there. Conversely, that if someone is surfing the web for that product or information and they come to a website that integrates video with their message, that person will spend 5 minutes and 50 seconds there. So if you're spending the money to build a website, and you're driving traffic to your website, you want to keep people there so they can get the information that's available. So you have to have video in your website today without question.
Well, and that's the thing, people forget that a website, being an online marketer, is really about, as one of my designers said years ago, it's the same as being in a mall. When I walk down the mall and I look in the different windows, my window better be one that makes you want to come in the door.
Absolutely.
And so that's the other thing that we need to keep in mind is, from an overall marketing standpoint, if you start with an offline advertisement or a television advertisement, our whole thing is to generate more and more impressions. So getting from something that's as simple as a business card to your website with a video, it's exponential the amount of impact you've been able to have on somebody.
The percentage is 240% greater impact.
No kidding.
It's huge.
It is huge.
So, what I do now with Talk Fusion is I'm simply the messenger. I'm trying to get people aware of the concept of how to deploy video. I just happen to be with a company that provides a product that when people hear the price, they say it's ridiculously low. We know that it's viral. We have a program to get the word out to people. It's a Facebook-like business model that allows people to use the product. In the process of using the product, other people will see it. As people see it and they see the impact, they're going to want to use it, and so on it goes.
Right. So let's look at how Talk Fusion is different than putting up a video on YouTube and sending an email with that.
Well, I think hugely different in a number of different ways. First of all, the Talk Fusion product, it's a product suite of 10 products that include mobile devices, video conferencing and broadcasting to an unlimited audience, video, email, video newsletters. We're the first company that uses video newsletters as part of the marketing process. Everyone uses newsletters, one form or another in business. Now you can include video in that newsletter. So, as an example, if let's say I'm inviting someone to an event, one of the products within the suite is a video autoresponder, which will allow you to program a message going out to the invitees over a period of 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 times with video. The impact and the response rate is so much higher using that people are stunned.
So you're saying that basically what you have the ability to do is to create a series of videos and have them sent over time?
Yes.
Automatically.
automatically.
This is. We should disclose that you and I are in discussions about this, and I think it's a great product. But that piece on its own, to me, the ability to start somebody on a sign up. This is what we do. Find out more about what we do, and then be able to deliver a video at whatever pace that you want. Man, oh man, that is huge. And we're going to take a break, but the bottom line is, from my standpoint, what makes this such a great product using video, but this campaign piece, is that they get to know you, and they go, oh man, this guy, I feel like I know him, and that's where I think that's a big piece of why you say 247%. I would imagine that with the campaign, it's 1,000% better.
It's huge. My wife talks about how when technology came into vogue and people start using it all the time to communicate,
right.
We went from a handshake looking you in the eye to texting and Twitters and all those sorts of things. What video has now done is it brings the intimacy back into the communication, and now you can deliver your message and a person will know who you are by looking at you, hearing you, and getting an impression who you are. That's huge in business.
We're with Tom Fancher from Talk Fusion talking about how to use video marketing in your business, and we're going to take a break. This is Today in the Napa Valley, the Napa Chamber Edition. I'm your host, Chris Templeton. We'll be back after these messages. Stay with us. And we are back with Today in the Napa Valley, the Napa Chamber Edition. I'm your host, Chris Templeton, with Influence Internet. I think that's who I'm with. I'm here with Tom Fancher from Talk Fusion. Tom, I want to dig a little bit deeper into using this as a sales tool. I think about, and look, I own a business, and you own a business, you're in sales, right?
Right.
And one of the things that I struggle with is, how do I do a better job of educating people about what I do? If I've given somebody a proposal, what do I do to make sure that they're just getting a constant stream as they're going of contact that's non-intrusive? And this really solves that, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple things about the product suite itself is that you can use it as an introductory tool, a video that says, hey, this is Chris Templeton. I met you at the Napa Chamber function. You asked for some information about. When I'm through talking, there's going to be a brief video that fully describes what we talked about. Now, we all know people that are in the prospecting business or in the business of generating revenue is the best time to talk to the person about the information that you provided is immediately after they look at what you sent them. This system, once someone views the video, you're going to get an email saying that it was just viewed. So you can pick up the phone and immediately talk to the person and just say, hey, this is Chris. And then you can have that conversation with them. What is it that you liked about what you saw?
And it's the kind of thing where now a lot of people still have some reticence about, well, you mean you'll know when I've seen the video? Now more than ever, it's becoming a far more accepted thing. Think about how, the emotion around spam 10 years ago versus now it's just like, well, it filters it and I don't worry about it. And so knowing those kinds of things and being able to do follow-up it's everything, isn't it?
I think today, if you're having a conversation with someone and they've requested information, I consider it a courtesy to want to be able to respond to them while the information is fresh on their mind, as
right.
opposed to 3 weeks later when both of you have forgotten what the heck you talked about.
Right.
So it's just a nice way to do it. I haven't found anyone that finds it offensive. Is actually quite the other.
You and I were at a lunch for the chamber last Friday, and in my inbox, I think maybe an hour later, was a video of you at your desk saying, hey, enjoyed being at the lunch, nice to see you, something like that. And it's super personal, and it makes a mark. Boy, oh boy, is it about making a mark and remembering,
Absolutely. Who in business today is not interested in increasing the connection that they have with their current customers or
right.
their prospects? So in a business format, for example, how often does a business thank an individual for their patronage?
All right.
Not too often. How about simply having a video that when you come to the Meritage, as an example, someone stays for the evening, how about sending them from the general manager a thank you video for them staying there? And oh, by the way, having a brief 1-minute video that follows that says, here's a complimentary video. You can take a look around at the property, send this to your friends, let them see where you stayed. And oh, by the way, when that happens, it becomes viral, and the more people that get exposure to your intimate information, the greater the response there's going to be from a business standpoint. It's all about making that connection. So product is awesome.
I'm about to hop on my soapbox. Okay, ready? Marketing is about creating relationships, isn't it? And
Absolutely.
we seem to kind of gotten away from it. And we've gotten to a point, like you were saying earlier, where it used to be eye to eye and a handshake. Now it's kind of like, well, I could text them, and we've kind of gone away from that. And yet, what is the most effective in terms of sales and marketing is creating as personal of a relationship as you can, and being able to create these videos and then send them to multiple people. Talk about leverage.
Yeah.
It's
So
here's
here's the thing. I think that is, you talked about impressive. The most impressive part, in my opinion, and this is what drew me to Talk Fusion, is I've been the CEO of a couple technology companies, so you would think I would be a techno guy.
Right.
Really, I'm not. I hardly know how to turn on a computer. The reality is, with this product suite, you do not have to be a computer scientist. There's one username and password that accesses 10 products, and it's very, very simple to implement and very, very simple to deploy. You can actually record into the system. You can upload video, and if you want to do, spend thousands of dollars for video, you can, or you can simply keep it on a personal level, just like you described.
Well, and one of the things, we do a video product, creating videos in my company, and one of the things that we talk about with clients all the time is, look, you don't want to be super polished because it feels like corporate, and yet you don't want to be in a cave where
exactly
it's distracting you from the message, and
exactly.
This is a nice in between.
Very nice, and again, simple to deploy.
Can you believe that we've got to wrap it up?
You're right, Chris.
Told you to go fast, Tom.
It felt like 2 minutes.
Tom Fancher with Talk Fusion. People can reach you, and a great way to see this product in action is at connectwithtom.com.
Yeah, it's a landing page, and it's designed to. It actually uses one of our videos. It uses one of our e-subscription forms that gathers the email address. And what I will do is you just indicate what level of information that you want, and I'll make sure that you get it once you sign in.
Whether it's to improve customer communication, develop new prospects, enhance fundraising efforts, or referral income. Tom, I really appreciate you being here. We'll get you back in the not too distant future. From Talk Fusion, Tom Fancher, you can be reached at 294-2666, and you can also see the product in action at connectwithtom.com.
Chris, thanks so much. It's been fun.
Great having you, Tom. This is Today in the Napa Valley, the Napa Chamber edition. I'm Chris Templeton, and we'll be back after this. Stay with us. And we are back with Today in the Napa Valley, the Napa Chamber edition. I love doing this show. I walked in a little bit. I don't know how I'm going to be feeling. This just lights me up. I want to welcome now from Napa Valley Bistro, Jennifer Baum. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Tighter on the mic. Right on the mic. There you
Sorry.
go.
Here I am.
Oh, there you are.
Hi.
Hey.
Good morning.
Napa Valley Bistro. You are. I said off the air. You new, and you're like, well, kind of since May. That's a month, right?
I'm counting days pretty much.
Yeah.
So 7, almost on our 8th week. We're getting there.
How's it going?
It's great. It is great. Such a good part of the area to be a part of, and every day is better and better.
So talk about what you guys serve, the type of food that you serve.
Well, we focus on seasonal, try to stay as local, sustainable, organic as possible. basically an elevated California bistro feel. So we get to grab, that's the great thing about being in California. You get to grab from all sorts of different cuisines. You don't have to really peg yourself into any particular specific idea. So we have a ton of things to play with, and we have a lot of fun doing it.
So give me some ideas of the type of food.
Oh my gosh. Right now, the blackened chicken empanadas, killer. We do Cajun prawns, even down to the salads. I mean, the salads are amazing. Everyone thinks, well, salads, yeah, no big deal. Chinese chicken salad, definitely worth the trip on its own. And this is the tough thing. When I talk about the food, people ask what I recommend. I kind of talk about it all. And there isn't really anything that I would stay away from. I think that's why we're going to be so useful for people, because you can go in time and time again, have something new, find a favorite, go back to your favorites, then try something new again. And it's just a really exciting one. It's an exciting season. We've got heirloom tomatoes coming up that we're going to be able to play with. It's a great season. It's a great area where we have so much at our fingertips to play with.
How'd you get started doing this?
This particular project came about kind of in an interesting way. The owner, Chef Bernardo Ayala, I worked with for years, actually, up in St. Helena, Silverado Brewing Company, which definitely had its own following.
Right.
And he, just being kind of a staple in the Valley, has gained connections and worked very closely with the owner, Chef Ernesto Martinez, up at Market, which is a staple in St. Helena. So, unfortunately, the brewery closed, which a lot of people are still to this day, very sad about. It hasn't been that long. But it gave Bernardo an opportunity to go his own direction and do what he really loves to do. And here we are.
What surprised him about doing it on his own, and what's he liked about it? What's he walked away and said, oh man, I didn't think this was going to be like this, but this is cool.
I would have to say just the aesthetics part of it. You're certainly not in the building 24 hours a day until you're up and running, and there have been a couple of challenges. You don't really realize how important artwork is until you're looking at an empty wall for a while.
Right.
But those types of things. I mean, he's an awesome chef, and that's where his focus is. But what's really been great to see is he's now out front talking to people all the time. And it's switching up the routine for him a little bit. And I think it's exciting for people to see the chef out and about, actually meeting him. And he's just, I don't get to say this about very many chefs. He's a really, really nice guy. He is fantastic with people. He's fun to talk with. Great family guy, great business guy. Dare I say great boss? Don't tell him I said that.
I won't tell him. I will not tell him that you said that. We're with Lisa Baum from
Jennifer.
Jennifer. Lisa's next. We're with Jennifer Baum from Napa Valley Bistro.
I go by Hey You. It's okay.
You. We're with Hey You from Napa Valley Bistro. We're going to take a quick break and be back right after this. This is Today in the Napa Valley, and this is the Napa Chamber Edition. Stay with us. And we are back with Today in the Wine Country, Today in the Napa Valley, the Napa Chamber Edition. I'm your host, Chris Templeton with Influence Internet, and I am here with Jennifer Baum, also known as Hey You from the Napa Valley Bistro.
That's me.
Hey You, talk about, you got some Sunday brunch?
We just started Sunday brunch. It is going to be fantastic. We just did our first one for Father's Day, so we got a few new Father's Day traditions started, which has been exciting. But from here on out, we want to be everybody's Sunday tradition. We thought that brunch needed a little spice, so here we are, and it's nothing too complicated. It kind of sticks with the rest of our program. Keep it straightforward, traditional, nothing too surprising. What you see is what you get with us, and what you get is great food.
Are you sure?
I couldn't be more sure.
You also mentioned you have some specials coming up.
Oh my gosh, even just this weekend, Chef created this awesome oven roasted rack of lamb. This is the kind of dish.
Did you say rack of lamb?
I did, and I'll say it again. This is the kind of dish, I mean, forget about utensils. Just pick up the bone and enjoy. It is amazing. He does such a good job.
What else you got coming up?
We do have a couple of community events coming up. Chef is going to be doing one of the demos at Chef's Market. We're trying to get more involved with our community since we're brand new, and we definitely tout ourselves as being the new local spot, home away from home.
Right.
We want to support our neighbors, so we have a couple.
What's up with that? What are you thinking? Why would you want to do that?
Go figure. So, I mean, one of the events that came to us first, there's Wine, Women, and Shoes. It's held up at the Krug Winery, and Chef has been a part of this in the past in previous restaurants, and it's occasions like this where, one, we definitely like to get out there and mingle with the public, but two, we really like to support those who come and support us, and those who need a little extra push. We want to be a part of that, and it's a really special event, really special people, really great people to do it with. So we're really excited to become a staple in the community.
You've been here since May, and you're already talking about being a staple in the community.
Oh, absolutely. We're already. I'm confident we're already there.
I wish I could. I wish we were on camera just for that look, because it was like, oh man, of course. What do you love about what you do? What is up with you? You dig this?
I get paid to socialize. I mean, at the end of the day, I get to talk with hundreds of people. I get It's an eye-opening experience. As much as I may feel like I'm sometimes in the restaurant hours on end, never-ending day, the scene is always changing. You never know what's going to happen, and people are awesome. I mean, it really, as much, we're inundated with bad news all the time and horrible stories, and to get that interaction with people, technology. I know your last guest, you were talking about how we've become a little disconnected. And my job is to connect. And it's a really special opportunity. You may only see people half an hour, 2 hours at a time, but you really have an opportunity to make someone's day.
What is it about that connection, but over food? There's just something that just takes it to the next level, don't you think?
It really does. And I tell people this all the time. I don't do food. We don't just do food and wine. Anybody can put food on a plate. What we do is hospitality. We create an experience.
So I'm going to stop you.
Okay.
What does that mean? What's for you? What's the difference between putting food on a table and hospitality?
It is giving it a little personal touch. It's not just order taking. It's hearing what the guest wants. It's accommodating them. It's knowing what their needs are, what they're there for, and they're there to relax. They're not coming into our restaurant stressed out, decision making. The worst thing that's going to happen is you can't decide what you want to eat. And that's, we can get you both. It's okay. That's, our job is to make people feel like they're walking into our homes into just another party.
You clearly have it down, and I applaud you for that. I think it's so often. I've been in hospitality many years ago, and it is just amazing to me how many places forget hospitality, and that's what really makes it special for people, isn't it?
It really is, especially with what's happening downtown. There are some amazing restaurants. People, whether you live here or if you're visiting for the first time, people, it is an event to go out. People save up money. They plan these events.
Yep.
What the difference is between you and the restaurant next door, it could be so minute, but it can make the biggest difference.
Absolutely. You are at 975 Clinton Street, which is in that new building with AUL.
Exactly.
On the branding of the building.
Yes.
And you are right next to which restaurant?
It is Azuro.
Azuro. Right. So
By the way, great neighbors. It's such a great community, and the great thing about being over there, everybody, all the businesses.
Jennifer, no. Everybody is not nearly as good as you. Did you know that?
I'm not supposed to say that out loud, though.
It's different strokes for different folks, and what a nice thing to be able to, be nice neighbors.
It's a great community. It's a great town, great people, and now we have made it even better.
Absolutely. It's obvious. Jennifer Baum, Napa Valley Bistro. You can be reached at 666-2383.
That's correct.
And it's 975 Clinton in the new building on the other side of Maine from where Uva is, another great player in town.
Absolutely.
Come see Jennifer at Napa Valley Bistro in their 8th week.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Come in, introduce yourselves. Like I said, I get paid to socialize. Can't wait to meet you.
What a deal. This is Today in the Napa Valley, the Napa Chamber Edition. I'm your host, Chris Templeton. We'll be back after this. Stay with us. And we are back with Today in the Napa Valley, the Napa Chamber Edition. I'm your host, Chris Templeton, and I am now with Lisa Culverwell from West Accounting Services. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you.
Right on that mic, even tighter.
Oh, okay.
West Accounting Services, what do you do?
I do accounting. I do bookkeeping. I also do payroll and thank you. And I even do office solutions. So I help set up their offices, implement new programs, basically whatever they need.
So what's an ideal client for you?
An ideal client, I've got two different types. Someone that needs me per week.
When you say per week, you mean on like a weekly basis?
On a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm.
And your average client that needs someone on a weekly basis needs them about 4 to 6 hours a week. The other client, also a weekly basis, would happen to be my specialty, which is financial analysis of a company that's been affected by the recession. So someone that has been losing money, can't really figure out why. So I'm there to help get them back on track and figure out why that money has been disappearing.
And does that mean things like going in, looking at the chart of accounts, getting the balance sheet in
Yes.
order, that sort of thing?
That, as well as looking at how often they're paying their bills, how many times are they paying it twice, so they're spending twice as much as they should if they're incurring late fees, but also are they receiving the money from their customers like they used to?
Interesting. And so when you do something like that, what are some of the outcomes for businesses that they're surprised by?
I believe the thing that most are surprised by is how quickly I can get it done. In most cases, when they bring someone in, it takes much longer. I'm much quicker than that, so I can get through it a lot quicker than the average person.
How'd you get started in this?
Oh, geez. Back in 2000, I was promoted from receptionist to accounting assistant. And I've been doing it ever since.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And it's just a natural fit.
Yeah.
Now, you're a relatively new business in town.
Yes, since February.
Since February. Mm-hmm. Congratulations
Thank
and
you.
welcome. What do you enjoy so far the most about what you do?
I would say it's meeting new people. It's you work with someone, you're seeing them every single day. You work for the same company, but for me, I have the opportunity to work with a different company every day.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it gives me a nice variety, and it changes all the time.
Do you find that variety is helpful for you in terms of being able to share experiences from one business to another?
Oh, definitely. And it helps with my industry experience as well. I can go somewhere and say, oh, yeah, I've worked with a company just like this.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. When you come into somebody's business, I imagine that they're feeling some pain in a lot of cases.
Yes.
How do you help, and when you've kind of got things in order, what's kind of the other side of this for a business owner when they start out really and
well, in most cases, so far,
I is a technical term.
yes, very technical. In most cases, so far for me, what the problem has been is a bookkeeper gone bad. And so they're looking for someone else that can take that place.
Explain a bookkeeper gone bad. What kind of things are the things that define that happening?
Things not getting done, no communication whatsoever, things getting lost. It's oh, well, I asked her to do this 2 weeks ago and it's still not done.
Right.
And, oh, well, billing still hasn't gone out. I don't know what's going on. So they're looking for someone that is going to be able to keep up with that.
So when I hear the name of your business, West Accounting Services, I think of you being as a step up from, and I don't mean that in any kind of a disparaging way, from a bookkeeper, but do you provide bookkeeping services and analysis?
Yes.
Which is unusual.
Yes.
As I understand it, most bookkeepers aren't running financials or
Not typically.
And so explain what that means for a business owner when they've got somebody who not only does bookkeeping but also is able to provide an analysis. What's the difference for a business owner?
Well, for a business owner, when they're hiring a bookkeeper, they're there only to enter things into the books, make sure it's correct, get the initial statements to them, and they're done. But for me, as I enter everything, I'm analyzing as I go. And I actually, if it's a normal client, I actually give them my analysis in chart form, whatever, and say, hey, well, this is what you did last quarter or this quarter last year. We need to cut back your spending, or, hey, you did a good job this quarter. You didn't spend as much. But in my experience, I had always been told that you do a really good job of cleaning up companies. And I found myself doing that a lot.
And so, two things. I want to just take a step back. You mentioned that one of the things that you do in this analysis piece of things is provide different, maybe it's a chart, that sort of thing. A lot of this is about delivering the information to a business owner in a way that they are comfortable with,
yes.
isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And
it
people have different approaches, don't they?
They do. And the thing is, and one of the things is that a business owner, especially if they're new, they're not always going to understand accounting.
Right.
And they don't understand that this is something that they have to do as well.
Well, and typically business owners didn't get into it to do accounting, did they?
Exactly. They start up a business and say, this is what I love to do. Oh, wait a minute. You mean I have to be a jack of all trades?
Right.
So a bookkeeper has to have that general knowledge and be able to explain to the business owner what everything is and why.
I'm here with Lisa Culverwell from West Accounting Services, who can be reached at westaccountingservices.com and also 339-3363. We are going to take a quick break and be right back. This is Today in the Napa Valley, the Napa Chamber Edition. Stay with us. And we're back with Today in the Napa Valley, the Napa Chamber Edition. I'm impressed in terms of your approach in regards. I'm sorry, we're here with Lisa Culverwell from West Accounting Services. I'm impressed with your approach in terms of really helping a business owner analyze what's going on. And I think it's one thing as a business owner who has a bookkeeper and goes through that, it's very easy to get all the stuff done and then walk away from it. And that is where you need to really be paying the most attention, is once it's all in, seeing what it means.
Right. Right. And it helps when you're working on site with them. And that's and real quick, that's what sets me apart from all of my competition, is I only work on site.
Period.
That's
it. And why? Explain why.
Because it helps break down communication. It helps with the lag in time, the cost, and it's so much easier and quicker to do.
When you're face to face, it makes all the difference, doesn't it? You are doing a workshop.
I am.
How to save money with proper bookkeeping?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good idea?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about this and what you're going to be talking about.
Well, basically, I'm partnering up with someone, so we're doing a couple of workshops that evening. But basically, this is a purely educational workshop, and it's for small business owners that may not know about bookkeeping, but it could also be a good refresher. And it's just giving them the basic knowledge. so that they know what they're looking for and they can understand it.
I know from experience, especially going through the recession, that the accounting piece can be the biggest pain point because
Yeah.
we don't tend to be as business owners good at that, and much more focused on selling our product or service. But having the basics in place really changes it. At least it has for me, in terms of knowing this is what my chart of accounts is. I can see what I've spent. I can see where income's coming in. It makes all the difference in the world, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
What else are you going to be covering?
The other one is going to be on the other financial aspect of it. My partner is actually going to be doing something on, I believe, investments. So that, and it's also for small businesses. So it's going to be kind of a roundabout educational seminar.
Perfect.
So doors open at 6:30 on July 11th.
And you can be reached at for that on, that's Friday, July 5th, and you can be reached at 339-3363 or Lisa at westaccountingservices.com.
Yes, and just a correction, that's actually July 11th.
I'm
the,
sorry,
the
July 11th.
RSVP deadline is July 5th, and I'm sorry, I'm going to make a correction. The doors open at 6 o'clock p.m. for networking and light refreshments, and the seminar begins at 6:30.
Lisa Lisa Culverwell, West Accounting Services. You can be reached at 339-3363, Lisa at West Accounting Services or westaccountingservices.com.
Yes.
Thanks for being on.
Thank you.
This is Today in the Napa Valley, the Napa Chamber Edition. I'm your host, Chris Templeton with Influence Internet, and I will see you next week. Thanks for being with us.